Who would have ever guessed that Robin Gibb was hiding a deep secret from the world? For years, decades, even he kept it to himself. But at 62, he finally spoke the truth, and when he did, everything made sense. Robin Gibb, one of the unforgettable voices of the legendary Bee Gees, was known for his haunting voice and quiet mystery. But behind that gentle smile, there was something he never told anyone. What was he hiding all that time, eh? Let's take a look at the story behind the music and the man. A humble beginning, the Bee Gees began with three brothers, Barry, Morris, and Robin Gibb. From the start, music was in their hearts. Robin and his twin brother Morris were born in December 1949. Later, they teamed up with their older brother Barry to create music that would touch the world. In the 1950s, they fell in love with music, borrowing records from their older sister Leslie. They listened to legends like Elvis Presley, Tommy Steele, and the Everly Brothers. They didn't have real instruments, so they made guitars out of cardboard boxes and pretended to be stars. In 1956, the brothers had their first public performance. It was at a small movie theater called the GMA, just a few blocks from their home. Kids were allowed to pantomime lip-sync songs, so they brought Leslie's records to perform. But just before going on stage, disaster struck. A technician accidentally dropped and broke Leslie's record. Their performance could have been ruined, but Barry had brought a real guitar. They decided to sing live instead. To their surprise, the crowd loved it. That moment lit a fire in the brothers. They knew had to make music. The dream grows. By 1958, their first group, the Rattlesnakes, had split up when two neighborhood friends left. But the Gibb brothers didn't give up. They started fresh with a new band, Johnny Hayes and the Blue Cats. Barry even took on a stage name, Johnny Hayes. Then, in August 1958, came a big change. The entire Gibb family packed up and moved across the world from England to Australia. They settled in a seaside town called Redcliffe. Near Brisbane, they were chasing a new life and the dream of music. In 1959, the boys sang at the Redcliffe Speedway between races. One of the race car drivers, Bill Good, was impressed. He told a local DJ named Bill Gates about the brothers. When Gates heard them sing, he said their harmonies were incredible. He began recording their songs and playing them on the radio. It was DJ Bill Gates who came up with the name BGS, using the initials from Barry Gibb, Bill Good, and Bill Gates. Later, the name became BGS, standing for Brothers Gibb. Their father, Hugh Gibb, became their manager. Before that, worked as a photographer to support the family. Now, he gave everything to help his sons succeed. And slowly, the world began to notice them. The brothers started to appear on Australian TV shows like Anything Goes and Brisbane Tonight. Even as kids, Robin and his brothers were performing everywhere, at theaters, nightclubs, and bars. Their dad taught them to sing songs by the Mills Brothers, and their mom Barbara helped by choosing their outfits. But even with all their hard work, they weren't famous yet. Things were still tough then. Something important happened. They met Nat Kipner, American songwriter and producer who really knew the music world. He had just become the manager at a new record label called Spin Records. Nat saw something special in the brothers. He believed in them. Excited to help, he became their manager and helped them move from Festival Records to Spin Records. This change was huge. Even though Festival still helped distribute their music in Australia, Spin Records gave the brothers a fresh start. Through Nat Kipner, the brothers met an engineer named Ossie Byrne. Ossie was also confident in their talent. He invited them into his small, cozy studio called St. Clair Studios in Hurstville, Sydney. The studio wasn't fancy, but it was perfect for the brothers to experiment and find their own sound. From then on, things started to get better. They made their first Australian hit called Spicks and Specks, which reached number 35 on the charts. Their popularity was growing steadily then. In February 1967, something life-changing happened. The Bee Gees auditioned for Robert Stigwood, a famous music producer who was great at discovering new talent. The audition went so well that Robert signed them to a 5-year contract. This deal meant their music would be released in the UK by Polydor Records and in the US by Atco Records. It was their ticket to international fame. Soon, people began comparing the Bee Gees to the Beatles. That was exciting, but also a lot of pressure. With strong support behind them, the Bee Gees were ready to shine on the big stage to make their group even stronger. They brought in new members to make their sound even better. The Bee Gees brought in 2 new members, Colin Peterson and Vince Maloney. This gave them more freedom to explore and grow as a band. Their next big single, New York Mining Disaster 1941, caused a lot of excitement. Radio stations got copies with no labels, only the song title. This made people wonder, could it be a new Beatles song? The mystery made listeners curious and hooked. The song quickly climbed the charts, reaching the top 20 in both the UK and the US. For the Bee Gees, this was a huge moment. They were finally getting the international attention they had dreamed of. Fans and critics alike were noticing them, but their journey wasn't always easy. With fame came pressure, creative differences, and personal struggles. In 1968, just when things were looking bright, the band had a big 7-week tour planned in the US. But right before it started, Robin Gibb collapsed and was rushed to the hospital. He was diagnosed with nervous exhaustion because of the stress. This was a hard blow for the Bee Gees. They had to make tough choices about their future. Barry and Morris kept making music, but without Robin's voice, it didn't feel the same. Tensions grew, creative disagreements got worse. The biggest fight was over their single One of May. Robin wanted the song Lamplight to be the main track, but the others disagreed, feeling left out. Robin decided to leave the Bee Gees in 1969 to start a solo career. Barry and Morris tried to continue as a duo, but Robin's absence was deeply felt. Their first show without Robin at the Talk of the Town in London was bittersweet. There was hope, but also sadness. Robin found success on his own, with the solo hit Saved by the Bell. This made everyone wonder, what would happen to the Bee Gees? As Robin's solo career grew, it became harder for Barry and Morris. To keep the band alive, they started working on separate projects. The brothers who were once so close were now drifting apart, leaving fans unsure if the Bee Gees would ever reunite. By the mid-1970s, things started to change. While on vacation in Spain, Barry spent time thinking about everything that had happened. Morris reached out to Robin and apologized for their past fights. That simple act of forgiveness helped bring the brothers back together. The Bee Gees reunited as a trio ready to make music again. Their comeback was a success. In 1971, they released their 9th album, Trafalgar, which included the hit single, How Can You Mend a Broken Heart? The song helped them return to the UK top 10 charts and heal after all the tough times, both in their music and in their hearts. In the 1970s, the Bee Gees took a surprising turn in their music. They jumped on the disco wave, and Barry's incredible falsetto became a signature sound. Songs like You Should Be Dancing marked a huge moment for them. Being part of the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack made them legends in music history. Even when disco started to fade by the late 70s, the Bee Gees' songs still touched people's hearts. They became icons, artists whose music would live on far beyond their time. But by the end of 1979, disco was losing its shine. Suddenly, the Bee Gees faced big challenges. Fans and critics quickly turned away from disco, and since the Bee Gees were so connected to that style, it was hard for them to keep up. Radio stations stopped playing their songs. Audiences began to drift away. On top of this, they had legal troubles. A musician accused them of stealing parts of their hit, How Deep Is Your Love? At first, the court sided with the accuser because the Bee Gees couldn't prove their case enough. But months later, the decision was reversed. They were cleared of all charges. Still, the whole experience hurt them deeply. Despite the tough times, the Bee Gees never lost their love for performing or their special bond with their fans. At one of their shows, they gave a touching tribute to their late brother. Andy Gibb. They added his voice to the song, Our Love Don't Throw It All Away. It was a beautiful moment that reminded everyone of Andy's spirit and the strong love between the brothers. The crowd was deeply moved. That powerful moment gave the Bee Gees new energy. Barry, Robin, and Maurice started a worldwide tour called One Night Only, fueled by their fans' love and support. The tour was a huge success. It brought new life to their careers, reconnected them with fans all around the world. But as time passed, health problems began to weigh on the band. In 2002, Maurice Gibb, a heart and humor of the group, faced serious health challenges. He was hospitalized and sadly passed away. Barry and Robin were devastated. With Morris gone, the Bee Gees as a trio came to an end. The brothers decided to retire the name Bee Gees to honor Morris, closing a legendary chapter in music history. Even though they were heartbroken, Barry and Robin's love for music and for each other stayed strong. In 2006, Barry and Robin performed together for the first time since Morris's death, not for a big concert, but at a charity event in Miami. It was a simple moment, but full of meaning, showing their strength and dedication to their family's musical legacy. In the years that followed, Robin faced his own health battles. He was diagnosed with liver cancer. Though his condition worsened, he fought quietly and bravely. Even when he had to cancel shows, stayed close to his fans, inspiring everyone with his courage. Later, Robin's son, Robin John Gibb, revealed a secret that surprised many. It wasn't the cancer that took his father's life. Robin had gone through remission, and the cancer was barely visible. It was kidney failure that actually caused his passing. This truth helps explain the difference in what people thought about Robin's illness. In February, Robin Gibb shared some hopeful news with the BBC. He said he had a tumor removed from his colon and it was almost gone. He felt great and said he was active and doing well. He mentioned that from then on, it was just some mopping up procedures. But then, just a few weeks later, everything changed. By April, Robin was in a coma, and sadly he passed away in May. His fans were confused and worried. How could his health go from so good to so bad so quickly? Some wondered if Robin was hiding the truth about his cancer or if it was really something that could get better and then worse again. According to his son, Robin John Gibb, neither of those things was true. The kidney failure that took Robin's life was a separate problem. It got worse because of the stress, the cancer, and its harsh treatments put on his body. Robin John felt frustrated by the doctors. Different opinions on how to care for his father during those last weeks. He told a newspaper that the hospital made choices he didn't agree with. He said, Robin was doing okay until 3 days before he died when he suddenly had a seizure. John explained that his dad was given sedatives to help with the side effects of chemotherapy. But Robin's liver couldn't handle the medicine, and his condition quickly got worse. His kidneys also started to fail. In the end, Albin passed away from both kidney and liver failure while he was in a coma. At the same time, Robin's wife, Dwea, was dealing with her own struggles. Their marriage was unusual, but they cared deeply about each other, even after 28 years. Dwea, an artist and Druid priestess, was open about finding women attractive. Robin had a child, a daughter named Snow, their former housekeeper Claire Yang, who was almost half his age. When the truth about Snow came out in 2009, Dwea was heartbroken and felt deeply betrayed. She was furious, and her reaction was more than just upset. Robin's estate is said to be worth over $140 million. Robin John was Robin's only son with Dwea, but Robin also had 2 older children from his first marriage to Molly Halisa's daughter, named Melissa, and a son named Spencer. Robin's 12-year marriage to Molly, who was a secretary for the Bee Gees' former manager, didn't survive the pressures of fame. Molly got custody of their children, and for a long time, Robin didn't have much contact with them. He reconnected with Melissa and Spencer when they were 12 and 10 years old. By then, Robin was already married to Dwea, who he had met in 1980 through her cousin. She was working in a beanbag factory in London, chasing her dream of being an artist. there was still so much about Robin's life that the public didn't know. In the early days of the Bee Gees, there was some tension between the brothers. Robin was getting most of the attention, and that caused problems with Barry. Because of this, Robin left the group for a while in the late 60s, but he came back, and the three brothers went on to become one of the biggest musical acts of the 1970s during the disco boom. That tension actually helped spark their creativity, but it also caused problems in their personal lives. It created a lasting rift between Robin and Barry that stayed with them for many years, even during Robin's battle with cancer. Sadly, their disagreement lasted until Robin passed away. Barry deeply regretted their broken relationship. At Robin's funeral, he shared a heartfelt eulogy expressing how much he missed his brother. After Robin's passing, Barry made a special decision. In 2013, he started his first solo tour, not just to perform but as a tribute to his brothers in the amazing journey they had together. Every song became a loving tribute to their shared music, their bond, and their brotherhood. In 2016, Capitol Records signed a deal to keep the Bee Gees' music alive for future generations. This helped make sure their legacy would never fade, even through the hard times and personal struggles. Their songs continued to inspire people and connect fans of all ages. At the heart of their timeless music is a story about brotherhood, strength, and a legacy that will last forever.